Is Venice, Florida a safe place to live?
This is a question we get kind of occasionally, I would say, but we see it more so. I see it online quite a bit, and we're going to tell you everything you need to know.
And we're getting started right now.
After we tell you a little bit more about if it's safe or not, and if you think it's the right fit for you and you want to move to the area,
make sure to contact me. I am a local realtor here. We'll have my information in the description box below.
So I think the first thing we should just say off the bat is, yeah, it's a really safe place to live, but we want to give you some more information on that, like some nuance to the different areas. But on top of that, show that it's not just us saying that because she's a realtor. We want you to move here. Like at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you're happy.
Yeah. From our experience living in Venice for almost 2 years now, probably 2 years by the time this video is live.
Yeah.
We have never felt unsafe, whether that's in our home or walking around downtown or going to the grocery store or going shopping. We have never felt unsafe.
Yeah, and one thing I want to make sure we point out before we get too much further in the video is sometimes we do see people leaving comments that some people try to get people to prevent them from moving to Florida. We'll have a video where we talk all about that in the description down below. But so sometimes you'll see people say like, oh, Venice is terrible, it's expanding too quick, and that's kind of the reason they're leaving these comments, because they don't want it to keep getting bigger. But they'll say there's homeless people everywhere and drugs are rampant and this and that, and we're not saying there's no homeless people. You'll occasionally see some in the downtown. That's mainly the only area. Typically one or two. They're super like passive. They don't approach you even.
Themselves.
Yeah, they very much keep to themselves. And drugs, I can't say that there isn't a lot of that going on, but we don't really see it out in the open, just with the demographics here. And I think that's what we should talk about next.
Yes.
It's very hard to imagine there's a rampant drug problem in Venice.
So Venice is mainly a retiree town. So with that comes a lot of an older population.
Who do lots of drugs.
And commit a lot of crimes. I mean, yes, things do happen here, like, you know, happen anywhere in the world. It is life, and unfortunately things do happen, but it's not like in a bigger city where you feel unsafe, like you have to make sure you lock your doors, you have to make sure you're like, I mean, still be aware, just because.
We still lock our doors.
Yes. Still be aware, still be smart, but the likelihood of something happening to you here in Venice, it's very, very low, I would say.
Yeah, and to give a little more proof to that, you can always check out online some of the apps that we really found helpful when we were trying to find out where we wanted to live in Florida after originally moving, well, even before originally moving to the Orlando area, was Area Vibes and Niche. They're both good. They give like either a 1 through 100 rating or a B, C, D, E, F, like a report card type grade rating, and both of those will tell you a little bit more. I think one of them, I want to say it's Niche, do they A, B, C? They give South Venice a little bit lower rating than Venice, but both rate pretty well. Even South Venice though, I don't know, I feel like South Venice just has a different look and feel than the rest of most of Venice. So because of that, some people think it maybe is rougher or worse, but I would find it hard to believe that it's any worse, maybe a slightly worse than Venice, but I think they give it like a C on niche.com, and then the downtown or Venice Island area is an A, I think, but I personally don't feel like there's that much of a difference between the two.
No, and again, we do have a lot of older population in Venice. South Venice is the same thing. There is a little bit younger families that have been moving to South Venice. I would say the main thing with South Venice is that it's not on an HOA community. So the homes, you might have a really, really nice house, and then the next house maybe not so nice, and then the other houses maybe a little more like older and not as upkept. And because there is no HOA regulations that people have to follow, you know, that's okay, and that's what you kind of like sign up for when you're buying a home there. Also, sometimes the lawns aren't as upkept. Maybe people park, which this is actually pretty common in Florida. People actually park on the lawn, so like on the front yard. People will park there, and that's pretty normal here in Florida, unless you're on an HOA community, like you can't park on the grass. So some people look at cars on the grass and it's like, okay, this might not be safe. This is like, what's going on here?
And I think that a lot of that depends on where you're coming from. Like me, I grew up in the country, cornfield across the street. Behind us, there was a woods. And so like, if if you needed extra space to park going on the lawn, you had a huge lawn, wasn't like a big deal. So I think it's just kind of context, perspective, perception. So the more you're here, you kind of get used to that. One thing that you mentioned too, I think that's a good thing to consider is, like, let's say maybe you're still not 100% sure Venice is safe, that being Venice Island or South Venice for that matter. Well, then gated communities, HOAs are great for that because you have a gate, you have that extra layer of protection. If that's something that's very important to you and you're just still not sure that, you know, you believe us that Venice is safe, go ahead and get into a gated community and you have a little bit more protection that way. And I feel like you can sleep a little more soundly that way.
And yeah, I mean, anywhere in Florida, I would say if you feel, because Florida is very similar. We've been to a lot of different cities, small towns, big cities in Florida, and it's very, very similar. So anywhere in Florida, if you're looking to buy a home and you're still not 100% sure that it is safe, I would say yes, go the gated community route, because then there is that level of safety that you feel a little more safe, and therefore you'll be happy with your investment.
One other thing I want to mention that puts things kind of in perspective is, like she said, we're kind of like a retiree city, but also it's kind of attracting a little bit more families, and I would say families. You know, not like people in their 20s, 30s looking to party, get rowdy, things like that. It's more like family type, small community type of a feel. And you will see like a lot of retirees that make a point of going to like the high school football games or the basketball games to just watch and support the community, support the local players. So I think that can kind of give you a sense for how people are here. And also one thing we've mentioned in a lot of our videos, you go through downtown and you just take a walk and you'll be shocked at the amount of people that just say hi, hi. It's like there's so much pleasantness and courtesy and just people that are in a good mood.
People are just happy. Yes.
Yeah, and it's just like you can just tell by the people you come across, okay, this is not a city of criminals. It's just not what it is.
And because this is a city of mainly retirees, I think that's what's attracting the younger families to move here, because if you have a lot of retirees, you feel safer because there is less crime. The schools are also great here. We're in Sarasota County, and Sarasota County is known throughout the state to have highly rated schools. And also, since we're a small town, you know, like kids are not going to be out like wild and free. Most kids are, I would say, we've met a couple of the kids here because of your business, and I feel like they're like kids, they're good kids.
Yeah, they're good kids from a typical small town. Yeah, I don't know. And with it being a good school, you kind of can feel like, okay, they're going to grow up through a school system where they're kind of taught to act the right way, be respectful, things like that, and that leads generally to less crime. One other thing I want to mention too is just, again, with like having more retirees, you kind of get that example set from them because they've had a lot of life experience. They don't, you know, you don't see a lot of litter around, you don't see a lot of trash, so, you know, they'll pick up after themselves, things like that. And a lot of those things I think would be great for a family to grow up into, because those things rub off on you if that's what you see on a day-to-day basis. And with that being said, if you now feel like Venice is a safe city to live
and you want to move to the area, make sure to call, text, or email me. My information will be in the description box below. I am a local realtor here, and I can definitely help you buy or sell your home.
If you have any other questions about Venice, leave a comment down below. If you found the video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on all notifications, and
live breezy.